Hola, ¿qué tal? Let's learn how to form preterite tense in Spanish. Let's see. First, we have regular verbs, okay? So verbs ending R, you just have to take off R and add asteo, amos, asteis, aron. For example, hablé, hablaste, habló, hablamos, hablasteis, hablaron. Okay, and now verbs ending with er and ir, they are similar. Okay, so take off er or ir and then add I, iste, io, imos, isteis, ieron. Por ejemplo, bebí, bebiste, bebió, bebimos, bebisteis, bebieron. Okay, then we have some spelling rules that we have to remember. Gar ending verbs. In the first person, you have to write G-U-E, okay? Huge. Because if you don't write U there, if you just put, like in regular way, I, it would be huge. And we can never change the pronunciation, okay? If in the infinitive we say gar with G, we have to say it also in all the persons, okay? That's why you have to need all the changes in spelling necessary to maintain the same pronunciation, okay? For example, kar ending verbs, tokar, toke. So you have to, the first person, you have to write with Q-U-E, toke. Because if you keep the C, it would pronounce toce, and it's not. It's tokar. We need to have this same sound there. So that's why we do this kind of change in spelling. Okay, and then thar ending verbs, for example, empezar or comenzar, empecé. In the first person, we have CE, not cita, not zeta. Okay? Empecé. Perfecto. You need to remember this. Another thing with spelling, if a vowel precedes the er and ir verbs endings, so if you have vowel just before er or ir ending, the letter I is written as Y, as Y in Spanish. Okay? So leiste, leyó, leímos, leisteis, leyeron. It happens in third persons, singular and plural. Okay, great. Then we have stem changing verbs in the ir group, and only in ir group, okay? It's not with ar like jugar, not with er like poder, no. So only just ir group, okay? Stem changing verbs. For example, mentir, to lie, or dormir, to sleep. So we have in preterite vowel change in the third persons, el and ellos, okay? And the only change possible and necessary is E change to I and O changes to you, okay? It doesn't matter what you have in present tense. For example, dormir, it's UI. Duermo, duermes. But it doesn't matter. In preterite tense, stem changing verbs in ir, ending with ir, these verbs have vowel change in third persons, singular and plural. I turns to I and O turns to you. Okay, mentí, mentiste, mintió. Mentimos, mentisteis, mintieron. O dormí, dormiste, durmió. Dormimos, dormisteis, durmieron. Great, good. Then we have, of course, irregular forms. Here you have the list of the most common irregular forms in preterite. So please stop the video and try to memorize them, or you just write them in some place. All of these, you have to learn them by heart. Okay. That's all. Great. Muy bien. Perfecto. Venga. Ahora a practicar. Adiós.